Alright, what's going on everybody? Sam from Brother Vet. In this video, let's do a quick recap on after the weightings for UFC Fight Night Walker versus Hill. And this is also some comments on the lock of the night and top 2 parlay. Let me just reiterate that I wrote already on Patreon. I don't have the spreadsheet this time because, as I told you guys, I don't think that there is much great bets for this card. It's a little bit tricky to bet this one. I don't see something that I'm super confident or really interested into, but let's nonetheless go through the comments and potential bets here. So I said to you guys that Just Trader, in my opinion, is a live dog in there. I was thinking that he would look bigger, much bigger in the weightings. He's still bigger, but not as much as I would like to see, right? But what may be interesting here is some props here on Fight Go the Distance. Just a second. All right, I was opening up my spreadsheet here just to see by my calculations how we were doing on this one. So starting off with Halliger and Justice Trader, by my calculations, 55% going the distance, right? And the odds in here, what's the Fight Go the Distance? Plus 170, plus 150. There's value there. I think it's worth a bet, right? It's also worth a bet. Let's see what I wrote here. Put Chad and Halliger 35% by decision. Also, it's very interesting in there, on Halliger by decision and Strader by decision at plus 600. So this is very interesting. Both of them actually, both on Halliger by decision at plus 270, Strader by decision. Fight Go the distance. So this is the way to go in my opinion is this fight. They could finish each other, but it's not that likely. So good value there. Belbita and Gloria De Paula. This one I said that I don't think gonna go the distance. I have it like 55% again going the distance. But if we look at the odds on this one, we have under 2.5 rounds, like plus 200. This is also excellent value in my opinion, guys. I think De Paula has decent chance to finish Belbita. Belbita also can finish De Paula by especially late round 2 or round 3 early. Even late round 3. So fight ends inside of the distance or under 2.5, right? Of course, it would be better ends inside of the distance if you can get like plus 180. But between plus 140, fight ends the distance, and plus 200 under 2.5, I would take plus 200 because of the more interesting return. And it's difficult to finish in the last 2 minutes. So there's the value there in my opinion. Skelly and Mark Strigo, also another interesting one. Let's see what I had in here. Strigo and where is it? Here, 50% going the distance by my calculation. Especially Strigo by decision as an underdog. Let's see what's the line in there. So plus 130. This is quite tricky. I wouldn't bet this, but let's see Strigo by decision. Skelly decided the decision. Look, Strigo by decision plus 400. It's more or less what I would have in terms of an odd. I would take this line. Nothing crazy. I think Skelly has more chances. But Strigo by decision, not a bad idea, because if he wins, it's gonna be by imposing wrestling. And taking top position, avoid submissions, and being more effective from top. Rose Clark and Stephanie Egger. Let's see this one, what I had probably going the distance, obviously. Let's see, 60% going the distance. Let's see what the bookies have. Yeah, this is a tricky one. I'm picking Rose Clark, 35% by decision, and Egger, 25. Yeah, I think there's not value anywhere in here. I'm skipping this one. Benitez and David Onama. My pick is Benitez by decision. I think there's value there. Let's see in terms of my calculations here what we have. Benitez and Onama, I have 55% going the distance. I think we have Fight Goes the Distance as a plus 150 if I'm not mistaken. I saw that. Let's see. Yeah, plus 150. So there is value there. Onama, Benitez by decision is my pick. I think it's worth a bet, plus 300, very interesting. Onama by decision, a little bit of a long shot, but plus 500, there is value. But I think I would take on this one both Benitez by decision and the Fight Go the Distance if the upset happens. Onama by decision it's you cash on this one, even though Onama, if he wins, most likely it's by knockout. But still, it's not impossible that Benito survives. Okay. If you want to hear more, I'm not breaking things down. This is just thoughts. So this one, Bautista and Jake Perry. Jay Perry, right? Jay Perry. So let's see what I had in here. Bautista and Jay Perry, 60% going the distance. Interesting. And I have pairing 25%. So to me, both values on fight goal distance and pairing. Let's see, pairing by decision plus 500, good value. And fight goal distance plus, I don't know, minus 130. No, this is tricky, I think, because Bautista can finish him. They never been actually. Perry has never been finished. Bautista was finished, but if someone gonna finish the other, it's gonna be Bautista and Perry. So this line, it's not a bad one. Maybe if you have if your bookie allow you to parlay props, you can parlay this a little bit. To bet straight, I think it's quite tricky, but a pairing by decision, I think it's a good one in this fight. JSP, Jonathan Pierce and Christian Rodriguez. Let's see, this one is going to be a chaotic one. I said it's strong pick on JSP. Let me see if I put here in the spreadsheet. I don't think I did. Let me searching here my odds on this one. I don't think I even put in here because it was a late edition, or probably I had 70% on Jonathan Pierce. Let's see here. I have 70% on Jonathan Pierce, and I didn't put in my calculations. Yeah, I think if Rodriguez wins, it's 50-50 between TKO and decision. I would say a little bit more like by decision. Let's put this one up just now. Let's say, so I said GSP. Let's put it correct here, Jonathan Pierce versus Christian Rodriguez. And here we have 70 and 30. That's what I said. Yeah, man, I think I would say maybe it's 65 and 35, because I think Rodriguez at least 15% chance for a knockout, and 20% of the decision. But this could be, you could easily swap those things, right? And JSP, I think instead of the distance, probably something like 35%, and I think between that, I would say actually TKO probably like 10% and submission 25%. I don't actually quite remember. Let's take a look at the record on Christian Rodriguez. I think he's undefeated, right? If I'm not mistaken, he's undefeated. Here he is. Yeah, he's undefeated, so it's quite tough to tell if he's by the record, like if he has some gaps in the JSP tends to actually finish by knockout. Interesting. Let me see. I watched this fight. I watched in the. This fight I also watched. But I think Rodriguez wouldn't take it to the ground. At least against Pierce. Pierce is an aggressive guy, right? Goes for ground and pound. Yeah, man, it's quite tricky one. This one. I think it's the best to pass here. Fight goes the distance, not that much, not that excellent price. I think this is a very tricky one. I said the GSP has a strong pick, like 65 to 70%. It's quite strong, but the lines show that. So if you're parlaying GSP, I would be careful because minus 400 is expensive in my opinion. Okay, so I'm gonna pass on this one. Joaquin Buckley and Al Hassan. Let's see. Probably everybody expects that this finishes inside of the distance. Let's see. Fight ends inside of distance, extremely expensive, no way. Maybe Buckley by decision. I think I picked Buckley by decision, didn't I? That was my pick. No, I think I picked Buckley inside of the distance. Yeah, and but in the odds I put higher by decision. So Buckley by decision, guys, may be interesting. Let's see that one, because I think Al Hassan if he fights as he always fights, he's gonna fight behind the right hand. Look, Buckley by decision plus 400. I would take this one. I think there's value there because Buckley, even though he can finish Al Hassan has a big head. The man can take a shot, and Buckley wouldn't be able to submit Al Hassan. Maybe if he finds a clean shot or those spinning stuff that he does sometimes, but not likely either, you know. Buckley by decision, good bet in my opinion here. Jim Miller and Nicholas Motta. This is taking quite long, right? How many minutes already here? We are 10 minutes, okay, not that long still. Jim Miller and Nicholas Motta. Let's see, fight goes the distance. Where do I have that one? Nicholas Motta. I can see it. Where is it? I think I didn't copy this one over. Oh, no, here it is. Nicholas Motta. Yeah, I have 50% going the distance. Then I have Miller a little bit by submission, knockout. Let's see what the line shows us. Yeah, this price by the not a bad idea if I go the distance here, but it has to be a small bet. They can finish each other. Miller can finish submission round 1. Motta can knock him out, especially from round 2. Miller by decision. A little bit of a long shot because he's mostly like one round fighter. Motta by decision at these lines, maybe, you know, because it's my pick him by decision. Yeah, maybe Motta by decision or fight go the distance, just in case, you know, but I think rather than that's quite tricky one. Maybe Motta by decision, but has to be at plus 250 in my opinion. Plus 200, or this is quite tricky, plus 250, plus 300 would be interesting. Motta by decision, okay? Porter, and Alan Baldo. This one, I think I'm picking Porter inside of the distance. Yeah, maybe Porter by decision if the price is right. Let's see what we have in here. Fight goes the distance at plus 200. Not a bad idea. I have this one 45% of the time going the distance, so there's value in this one. Fight goes the distance. Nothing crazy, obviously. They can finish each other easily. And Porter by decision plus 250, also not a bad idea, because my pick is Porter by decision, right? No, Porter inside of the distance, but between inside of the distance and decision, more or less same. Baldo, he tends to get hit, but there is a decent discrepancy in height and reach. And Porter, he finishes probably going to be by ground and pound, not like strikes, like stand-up strikes. So maybe Porter by decision, not a bad idea, but look, Porter by decision comes at plus 250. Fight goes the distance at plus 200. Between these two, I would take plus 200 here, because at the ending, Baldo, never know, you can stuff takedowns, you know, make it a slow-paced fight and win a boring decision, never know, right? But rather than that, my pick Porter by decision. Baldo by decision, only if it's like plus 1,000, something like this, which is, maybe you can find this line. Should take a look since we're here already. Baldo by decision, yeah, plus 800. So it's quite close on what I would take. If you want to gamble a little bit, Baldo by decision. I have him 15% of the time, so makes sense in my calculation. So consider it, or fight go the distance if you like. Jamie Pickett and Kyle Dawkins. I think I'm picking Dawkins inside of the distance, but between that and decision, more or less the same. And Pickett by decision, also not a bad idea. Let's see. Dawkins is my strongest pick in this card, guys, so kind of contradicting myself saying Pickett by decision, but if Pickett wins, it is by decision, you know. So this line, not bad, you know, even especially if you want to cover, if you're parlaying or betting heavy on Dawkins, at least something on Pickett by decision, in my opinion, you know. And rather than that, probably pass. I have some parlays with Dawkins, but then people start betting him quite heavy. You know, still some value, minus 300, but I would be careful. You know, more expensive than that. Quite tricky to bet Dawkins here. You know, Pickett by decision plus 400. Same as interesting as Dawkins, you know, as parlaying Dawkins in my opinion. You know, because of the return and risk and return type of thing. Johnny Walker and Jamal Hill in the last one. I told you guys that I bet Walker. He was at plus 250 when I bet him. Then there was money on him. By these lines, I still think it's more worth it Walker, but it's already becoming quite tricky at these lines. Let's see what we have by my calculations here. Where is it? I think it's not here. Should be here. Let me search here because I don't seem to be able to find Johnny Walker. It is on the top. Johnny Walker, I have 20% by decision and same as inside of the distance, and then he'll put decision and knock out the same. So 50% of the time, my calculation, this goes go the distance, which is very juicy line, huh? Plus 350, plus 300. Yeah, man, I think yeah, Johnny Walker is known not to have a chin, you know. I think if he starts landing clean on him, obviously he's gonna put Walker out. But Walker is not gonna be there just to hit, you know. Walker had an interesting UFC career for now, was putting everybody out with the flashy moves. Then he got knocked out. Then he did basically nothing against Thiago Santos. Difficult to know what he's gonna do, but if you ask me, maybe fight go the distance the best bet because plus 350, plus 300, interesting. Let's see on the overs, you know, like look over 3.5. This is very interesting, guys. Look, plus 200 on over 2.5 because it's under one of the things, either one of the two things. They either gonna go crazy and they're gonna finish each other very quickly. Either they gonna, you know, somehow respect each other or even landing heavy. One lands heavy on another and then they both slow down and one accepts that he's gonna lose. Or they both respect each other, which is not impossible. You know, like Marreta and Walker one more time. So this is not bad. This is very good in my opinion, and this is also interesting. Okay, this both of them basically the same price, right? But plus 350, I would take this one. So in my opinion, over 3.5 and fight go the distance on that one. Okay, this would be the best bet in my opinion here. And like I said, I bet Walker at these lines between Walker and this over 3.5 and fight go the distance, like much better over 3.5 than fight go the distance than Johnny Walker. Okay, in my opinion. Right, guys, I think this is what I wanted to tell you guys, my thoughts on this. Basically, I didn't comment much how they looked. So this one, like I said, I was thinking straighter would be much bigger. So maybe, I don't know, still straighter, maybe some value, but I would be careful. They both look quite decent, you know. I think, yeah, they both look decent in here. In here, also similar. They both look decent as expected. Same here. Benitez and Onama. Obviously, Onama looks like you know, athletic guy in there. Looks better. Benitez missed weight. There's that too, right? But I still think there's a good gap in skills. You know, people actually betting Onama here. Benitez at plus 150. Obviously, I like it. I was betting Benitez from plus 130. Bautista and Jay Perrin, they also both looked good. I like a bet on Jay Perrin by decision, like I told you guys. Pierce and Rodriguez both looked good. Pierce looks like solid in there, lean and fit and tall and etc. Here also both looked good. You know, Buckley by decision, I said. Not Nicholas Mott and Jim Miller, same, both looking good. You know, quite tricky one to bet. There's some passing, Baldo and Porter. Same comments, both looked as expected. None looking impressive, but as expected. Kyle Dawkins and Jamie Pickett, again, same stuff, both looking good, nothing outstanding. Walker and Jamal Hill, both looking good, nothing outstanding. Walker, obviously, super lean and fit in there. His best asset on the game is his athletic ability, that size and the fitness, right? So definitely a strong factor all the time. Okay, so guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you're seeing this from Patreon, thank you for your support. If you don't, you're not yet part of my Patreon, feel free to join. This is, I think this was an interesting discussion. Let me know your thoughts if you like this thing, you know, or you like a more objective approach as I was doing before. I think this shows you guys a little bit more what's in my head. The other shows more objective and you know, more straight to the point. I think both are good, but I think this actually gives you guys some feeling, and obviously you're doing your research, so I think this is also helpful. Okay, thank you guys. I'll talk to you next time. It's from Bets, being the best, most consistent and transparent money strategy for you.